Hi again, Greg Bell, the News Tribune here in Carson, California. What we learned tonight in the Seahawks' second preseason game. One is they've got a pass protection issue still at right tackle with Germain Ifedi. I think you saw that if you watched any of the game. Melvin Ingram had his way with Ifedi in the first half when the starters for both teams played. Beat him 3 times, a sack once, forced an incomplete pass in the red zone on third down from Wilson to Vanette into coverage. That cost them another touchdown chance. Here's the deal on right tackle. The man I thought was going to compete for right tackle, George Fant, is still the backup left tackle of Dwayne Brown. He's coming back from reconstructive knee surgery. There are 2 games left in the preseason. A quick turnaround here of 2 practices and a walkthrough before Friday night at Minnesota, then the throwaway 4th preseason game, August 30th against Oakland, and then it's it. It's go time in the regular season on September 9th opener at Denver. If they don't move Fant from left side, where he has 10 games of experience, to right side, the only other right tackle right now in the running is Willie Beavers. And Willie Beavers has as many NFL starts as you do. 0. In 2016, he played in 2 games for the Minnesota Vikings at guard. The Seahawks signed him as a free agent last year as a guard, moved him to tackle this year, and Beavers is the number 2 right tackle. And that's Germain Ifedi and Willie Beavers, and that's it on the right side right now. So right now, it's the only viable option is Germain Ifedi, as scary as that may be. Ifedi has improved, I believe, in the run blocking, and I think he's taken to Mike Solari's straight-on man blocking in the run game. Pass protection remains an issue, but Melvin Ingram had 29 sacks the last 3 years, and then 10.5 last year as a Pro Bowler, so he's not a schmuck. But that was a regular season test that is going to come even harder September 9th in Denver when some guy named Von Miller lines up against whoever the right tackle is. Looks like Germain Ifedi. So bottom line is they don't really have any other options, and if you come importing from outside the organization right now for a right tackle, he's either old, broken, expensive, or all 3, and that's not a real attractive proposition either. So it's Germain Ifedi, it would seem, or bust until if they decide to move George Fant from the left side to the right, which hasn't happened yet. Defensively, they still need to find a right cornerback. Trey Flowers got the start tonight because Byron Maxwell's hip wouldn't let him start. Dante Johnson got in the second quarter with the starting defense. Both of them did fairly well staying over the top of deep balls. Johnson allowed a 6-yard pass to Keenan Allen right in front of him, which the coaches will take, not getting beat deep. The Chargers end up having a punt on that drive, so Johnson did his job. The starting defense gave up the touchdown to Phillip Rivers and the Chargers in the first drive and then settled in and created punts after that. Like Wilson said, it should have been 21-7 Seahawks after 3 drives, but Chris Carson fumbled at the goal line, and Brandon Mebane, the former Seahawk, recovered in the end zone for a touchback. The sack, the pressure I mentioned that Ifedi gave up that caused an incompletion on third down in the red zone. Dwayne Brown, usually dependable on the left tackle, got beaten for a sack of Wilson in the red zone, resulted in 2 short field goals instead of 2 touchdowns. So the bottom line for the Seahawks was Russell Wilson encouraged by the starts. They need to produce points out of those, but 228 yards in the first half, the Seahawks are pretty happy with that. All my coverage is online at thenewstribune.com and at gbellseattle on Twitter. I'll get back to Seattle and cover the next Seahawks practice, which will be on Tuesday, and these machines may be still going by then. Have a good night.